I'm going to be making a classic that hopefully, at least I really hope, you had as a kid. It's called Puppy Chow, and it is really freaking delicious. Basically, I've never made it before, which is pretty sad, so I'm going to make it today and enjoy it. I looked it up, the recipe's really simple. I didn't realize it's just 4 ingredients. It's basically semi-sweet chocolate chips, like a Rice Crisp cereal, peanut butter, and powdered sugar. So it's pretty inexpensive, easy to throw together, and delicious. So if you've never had it or haven't had it in a while, please make it with me. Now what you need to do is get a saucepan. I'd recommend a larger one like this. You can go a little smaller maybe. Get it over low heat on your stovetop. I'd say get your cup in there as soon as possible because you want them to heat up with the pan. So we've got our saucepan, and here's a cup of semi-sweet baking chips. It'll probably be 3/4 a typical bag that you would buy. I'm going to do a few more because no doubt some of the chocolate once melted is going to get stuck to the pan a little bit or be hard to scoop out. So I'm going to go a little bit over. Now you're going to want to keep an eye on this. Get out a wooden spoon or something similar, and as it begins to heat up and melt, just stir it lightly. After thinking about it for a second, I think using an icing spatula would be the best because it's soft, and eventually when we get the checks in there, we don't want to break them apart very much. So this is a good way to stir without damaging the food. So yeah, I'd say use an icing spatula if you can. If not, a spoon's fine. As you can see now, they're starting to melt. So they're going to kind of clump together and be difficult to stir at first. But as they melt, they'll move around easier and easier. Alright, as you can see, it's getting easier and easier to push around, and it's beginning to melt more and more. At this point, as it begins to melt and really stir around, if you want to start getting your ½ a cup of peanut butter ready, that'd be a great idea. So the recipe calls for ½ a cup of peanut butter. So what you want to do is get your ½ cup measure, get your peanut butter and spoon it in. Or I guess if you have a butter knife, that's a way to get it in. But, unlike some other things, you don't want any gaps in here. You don't want to just put a big plop in there, have some spots missing and say, that's fine. No, it should be completely full. Like no air pockets or anything. Fill it the best you can. So it's going to involve a little bit of smushing it down in there. Which is fine, because peanut butter is good. It's half the recipe, basically. Okay. So as you can see, I was really trying to use a good method to push it all down in there. I would do a little bit more than that even. There. See how there's not a whole lot of gaps in there? Really made sure to push it in there and get it in at every side possible. So that is a full ½ cup of peanut butter. So as soon as the chocolate chips are completely melted and liquefied, we'll put the peanut butter in. Okay, as you can see at this point, the chocolate's pretty melted. Make sure you keep stirring. You don't want there to be any chunks. And I'm not seeing any, so this is good. So get your peanut butter that we just measured out, your ½ cup of it, and really get it down in there. It's okay to go a little bit over because some of it's going to be left in your cup anyway. And for this recipe, it's not as exact as baking or things like that. So now it says mix these together until well mixed. Okay, I would say those are pretty well mixed. Now we need to remove our chocolate and peanut butter from heat, turn off your burner, and we need to add our 9 cups of the Rice Krispie cereal. Crispy rice cereal. So. Now unlike the peanut butter, you're not smashing the cereal to fill the cup measure. So there's 1. Try not to spill if you can help it. 2. There's a 3rd one, so continue until you have 9 in there. There we go, and there's 9. So quickly mix the crispy rice checks in with the peanut butter. And try to be gentle on them, you don't want to break it too much. And that's why I recommend using this icing spatula. And as you see, it will slowly start to coat them. If you want, you can use a folding technique. I think that'd be a good idea. So you go in and then kind of come up and fold over. Now there's two ways you can do this final step. They recommend, the recipe I have, it recommends putting this into a big plastic bag, putting in your 1.5 cups of powdered sugar or confectioner's sugar, and then just shaking it. I'm going to try to use reusable containers, so I'm just going to mix the powdered sugar in like this now. And you need 1.5 cups of confectioner's sugar. So there's one. And there's our half. So again, I'm going to mix them together gently using my icing spatula. And then from here I'm going to put it into reusable plastic containers. So Puppy Chow is just, it's great. It's delicious, it's fun to eat, and with all foods you should really share it with your friends and family and loved ones. I would continue with the folding technique for this. So just keep going till it's nice and evenly coated. Well, I've scooped my whole batch into containers to take to my friends at work, and what I'm left with is some for me and my family. So let's see how it turned out. Oh yeah, this is great stuff. Super easy to make, pretty affordable, and within half an hour you have a really delicious snack that everyone loves. I loved it as a kid, hopefully you did too. If not, try it. Even if you've had it, eat it again.